Hi, this is Sally Morgan, physical therapist, craniosacral therapist, and Tellington T-Touch practitioner for animals and people. This is Tristan. He's a Corgi, and we're here with another episode of Conversations with a Corgi, where you can learn many new things about pet care, pet behavior, and our relationship with pets. And today I want to talk a little bit about hospice care for pets. I'm going to do a little series on this for the next few days. And sorry we weren't here yesterday. I was doing a live interview at 1 o'clock. I had to repurple my hair, and I didn't hit the post button after we did it, so I couldn't post it right away. But once they post it, we'll bring it over to this page and share it on Corgi Nation and some other places so people can see that video. But today I want to talk about hospice care for pets. This is a growing trend and something people don't know anything about. They don't even know really what it is for the most part. And what it means is allowing your pet to live to the end of his life without having to intervene. And this is difficult for some people because they believe their animal might be suffering. The goal with hospice care is for that animal not to be suffering, to have a good quality of life. And this is something I care deeply about. I have never had to put my animals down, and they have all had a peaceful passing. In addition to which, I have a lot of skills that keep them out of pain and happy, and I have consulted with many, many, many animals when they are in the process of crossing the rainbow bridge. And one of the things that frequently happens with a craniosacral session is that the animal seems to recover from whatever their ailment is and have a whole day or even 36 hours of acting like they did when they were 8 or 7 or 5 or 3. And it allows the person, almost like living through a movie of the animal's life, to go back and say, I remember when he used to do this, and we used to have so much fun doing this, and look at this great walk we had today, even if it was really short. He enjoyed it, I enjoyed it. You know, he's playing with a string again. He hasn't done that in 10 years. So then, usually after that 36 or 24-hour period after a craniosacral session, the animal passes peacefully with the person without trauma. And so I've done a lot of hospice care work with dogs and cats and rabbits and horses. And I think what we might talk about is each of those species individually, and also some more information about services that might be available to you. I know in my area out in Eastern Mass, they were trying to set up vets and people like me and vet techs to be able to come to your home for one set fee for a period of time and give your animal and you whatever services you required, which included having someone available for you to talk to about what was happening to your animal. And that was a brilliant idea. I don't know if it was a great business model, and I don't know if it's still functioning, but the idea of having a group of practitioners come together to support people in the process of the loss of their pets is a miracle, and we sure need more people to do that. So if you are a psychotherapist, or if you are a social worker, or if you are a vet tech or a vet, or do any other kind of work with animals, Reiki, see if you can join together with some other people in your area to offer some hospice services for pets. So you want to have a peaceful, supported death for your pet. In this way with hospice care. You want your pet to go surrounded by family in the place that he knows, with the other pets that he knows. One of the wonderful things about pet hospice is that the other animals are part of the process. And when I talk about a dog in particular, you'll hear more about how the animals in the household supported the process of that dog leaving. It was really profound. So having that death supported all the way until the end is a wonderful thing. And in my area, there are a couple of vets that will actually come to your home to put your animal down if need be. There are certainly many diseases that your animal could have that could be terrible and devastating and painful and unmanageable by hospice care. And so therefore, your animal may need to be helped, as we say, over the rainbow bridge. And if that happens, to be able to have the vet come to your home and have you be with that animal and with the other animals in the room, it can really make a huge difference in the peacefulness for you and for that animal in that whole process of crossing the rainbow bridge. So euthanasia may still be useful in some cases, but just changing our attitude around that can make a huge difference for our pets and for us. A peaceful passing is something that we all hope for ourselves, for our loved ones, and certainly for our pets. It does not have to be drama-filled. It can be, of course, very sad, but also very calm, very peaceful, very respectful, and pain-free. So these are some of the topics we'll cover over the next few days, and I have so many stories to share with you. I was actually the keynote speaker at a conference called Animals in the Afterlife, about animals crossing the Rainbow Bridge and about messages from them from the other side of the bridge. And also we had some talks about animals coming back as the person's prior pet. So there was one woman in particular who had a white cat who looked exactly like the prior white cat. And for those of you who don't know cats very well, eye color in white cats can vary dramatically. And boy, these two cats had the exact same color of eyes, the same big head that cats can have. I mean, it was so clear that this was this woman's cat coming back to her. So I think it's really important to look at the process of death with our pets and steel ourselves for when that happens, because we need to be our best self to support our pets. And that takes a lot of getting used to for us. I mean, I've been through so many animals crossing the Rainbow Bridge, mine and others, and it's never any easier. When I lost my dog Comet, it was tremendously of an upheaval for me. I just really could not function for days, and I don't know how I went back to work. I don't think I went to work for 2 weeks, and going to work can be one of the hardest parts of losing a pet, because in any average workplace, I would say out of 10 people, maybe 2 understand what you're going through, and the rest can be downright cruel. So going back to work is definitely fraught with peril for a person who's lost a pet. But we're going to focus on helping that animal cross the Rainbow Bridge in the most peaceful way possible and supporting them during that process. And certainly some of my other talks here have looked at this. Some of the talks with the tuning forks, when we talked about the angel tuners, using the pendulum in therapy. We also talked about crossing the Rainbow Bridge with that. And also when we did the series on Reiki, we talked about Rainbow Bridge and Reiki. So we will have lots of things to explore over the coming days. And I encourage you to share any stories that you are reminded of as we do this, because my next book is going to be about animals and the Rainbow Bridge. And so, and it's going to be a collection of your stories. So please email me, PM me, write something here, but get in touch with me and tell me the stories of your animals passing, coming back to you from across the bridge, signs that you've seen, or if your current pet does some of the things your old pet did. Not that it's necessarily a reincarnated pet, but that maybe there's some communication that you're clearly aware of. I really want to try to collect these stories and keep them, because they are so valuable to other people losing their pets. And depending on where you live, I mean, I live in a really progressive area. So when somebody says, oh, that bear I saw yesterday, I know that's my cat coming back to say hi to me. You know, nobody here bats an eyelash. They're like, yeah, tell me about it. Was your cat's name Bear? Was he black? What did he look like? Why do you associate him with bears? What did the bear say to you? I mean, that's the kind of stuff we have in my area, but it's not always that way. And I'm surrounded by nature here. If someone lives in a city, sometimes the signs are much more subtle. So please share your stories here, and we will continue for the next few days. Like I said, I think we're going to just focus on each species of animal that I've worked with and one story about them, to try to inspire you to give us your stories. And also, I think as we do that, we'll hit some of the other topics along the way. I do have to say one thing, though. When you are working with hospice care for your pet, you really do need to have a vet on board, and that is not always easy to find. So make sure that you have searched your area. I mean, we have a vet here who will put your animal down at your home, but is she a good vet to call for supportive hospice care? No, she's not very nice to people. People have a hard time with her. In that last moment, she's lovely. But up until that point, you may need to be working with a different vet in my area. So find a vet that you have an excellent rapport with, who is willing to support you in the process of letting your animal pass naturally. And I have a radio show I'm working on this week that will be on Dream Vision 7 in early November, the first Monday of November, right before voting day. And that person is a pet hospice specialist and a friend of mine from T-Touch. And so that will sort of be a nice wrap up for all of the things that we'll be talking about over the next few days. So thanks for joining us, everyone. I will get that interview from yesterday up on this page as soon as I have it available. And then we'll be talking more about what's all involved with that interview. So thanks for joining us. Everybody have a great day. I always encourage people to look for signs of their past pets. And if you are watching this series, they may be seeing that you're more open to them right now. So you may be seeing or hearing from them in ways that you have not in a little while. And it is coming up to the anniversary of when I lost my beloved dog Comet. So part of this is in memory of him.
Right, Biscuits? Oh, what are we going to do today? We got to practice our tricks for the dog show.
Thanks for joining us. Everybody have a great day and enjoy this warm weather before we get dumped back into fall. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow.